They will break against our resolve.
Make every strike count.
Feel a smash.
This was unexpected.
Wait, seriously?
Let's try this way.
Bitch. Jesus.
This will hurt.
Yes, I am. Why are you people not helping? Let's go. We're gonna use it to get our blood.
Is it flawed?
Wait, he's not dead.
You are today's sacrifice.
The Inheritor, guide my blade.
That's it. I'm tired of playing around now. You want to know what will happen when I'm done with the Ward Stone? Here's a little demonstration.
The demoness whispers a spell and a wave of darkness seeps through the chamber. Your companions wince in pain, but it is nothing compared to what you feel. Thousands of voices once again burst into your mind, drowning out their moans and screams. Pain rockets through your skull.
We will never give up. We will not break. We will not run.
It would be a shame if you died without ever surrendering. But honestly, I'll be satisfied no matter what way you die.
A roar of voices blends into an unbreakable wall of screams. Your vision goes dark.
Praise Iomade, you woke up. Healing your wounds was easy, but you were unconscious for so long I was starting to worry we'd lost you.
What
We
happened?
couldn't stand up to the demoness. Her spells were too strong.
Probably because you didn't help.
It's all right. We'll handle it somehow. You blacked out, but Staunton and I managed to get you here to the Defender's Heart. It used to be a tavern, but now it's our headquarters. We're gathering our forces here, and we're preparing to strike back.
I found a cultist dispatch in the dungeons. It seems they're holed up in the Tower of Estrad.
Demons have been filling Canabras with their spies and infiltrators for a long time. Unfortunately, I don't have enough people to attack the place right now, at least not blindly. I'd be grateful if you snuck in there and scouted out the situation. But just scouting. Don't be a hero.
What's the situation in the city?
Bad, but not hopeless. We're constantly getting news, and new sources of resistance keep springing up in the districts where everyone seemed to be dead. The survivors are gathering here. You should see them. Their faces, their eyes burning with determination. The city is destroyed, but our resistance is not broken. We will keep fighting.
What do you plan to do next?
You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the Wardstone and blow up the whole barrier around the World Wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city with a Wardstone will be destroyed, including the capital. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomade's gift must not become a weapon of the Abyss.
The Abyss is a realm of infinite horror and unlimited danger. Its vast charms, known as the Outer Rifts, wind throughout the surface of the Outer Sphere. Where the Outer Rifts of the Abyss are open realms unto like Elysium or even heaven, there are sites of eternal wars against the celestial races. Here, the armies of good maintain permanent encampments along the edges of the abyssal rifts and do their best to prevent the rifts spread, for spreading is the correct word. The outer rifts are growing, albeit slowly. Scholars believe that this is a sure sign of the end of all things, and that nothing can stop the growing dissolution of the outer sphere, and that at some time in the future, the abyss will consume all. Worse, the outer rifts do not constrain themselves to the outer sphere. They can open elsewhere, and have done so countless times before to consume entire worlds. The malevolent world wound of northern Avestian is but the latest to appear in the material plane, a written reality that even the full might of the nation of Medev is unlikely to contain for long. The abyss is possessed of many layers strung together by the river Styx. Its inhabitants are demons, and the rulers of the demon lords who wrested control from the plane long ago from the primordial Qyphoth. Tell me about the Wardstone. Why is it so important?
The Wardstones are a gift of Iomade, created personally by her herald, a mighty angel and a general of the celestial armies. The Wardstones keep the World Wound from expanding. They stand along the border of the territory controlled by the demons, creating a barrier to keep them inside. The Canabras Obelisk was the first to be placed. It is the key to the whole barrier. We cannot leave it in the hands of those monsters from the Abyss.
Is there any way I can help?
First of all, we need to decide what to do with the stone once we get it. What I'm about to say is classified. A traveler came to the city recently. A blind elf calling himself the Storyteller. He insisted he be allowed to examine the Wardstone, and he raised the alarm when his study was finished. Even before the demon attack, he had found some damage or flaw in the stone. Prelate Hulrune dismissed his words as nonsense, borderline blasphemy. But between you and me, the prelate's opinion isn't worth much. I think the Storyteller knew what he was talking about. We could use his advice right now, if only we knew where he was. I remember the Storyteller spent a lot of time talking to Staunton, a dwarf from my unit. You saw him during the demon attack. The elf asked him about the history of the Crusades. Maybe the Storyteller told Staunton something about where we could find him if anything happened. There's another problem. After the attack, the demons began to gather their forces at the Grey Garrison. It'll be even harder to take them with a head-on assault. But I once heard soldiers talking about a secret entrance to the garrison. Trouble is, I have no idea where to look for it. While you explore the city, please keep your eyes open, in case you find something we can use. And one last thing. The Eagle Watch has lost a lot of soldiers recently. Some were killed, but others simply haven't been seen since the attack. In the chaos that is now Canabris, it's next to impossible to confirm anything for sure. One of the missing fighters is Janna Aldori, a new recruit in the Watch. She got along well with Sela, and she often went drinking with her. I honestly thought Sela and Janna had died together. But now Sela's returned with you, and there's no sign of Janna. If you learn anything of her whereabouts when you're out in the city, please report back.
Everything
May
is
the
clear.
goddess help you. We're still fighting, which means that Canabris still hasn't fallen. If you come across any groups in the city that can fight, send them here to the Defender's Heart. We'll need every fighter we can muster for the final assault. Yes, one more thing. If you're in the area, check out this address. It's our house. Mine and Anevia's. Well, it was our house. If the building is still standing, open the hidden compartment in the kitchen. It's filled with supplies for a rainy day. You can take whatever you find. You have more need of it.
It takes a long time to hit level 3 in this game. Anivia, hey, wait, mind if I bend your ear about something? Anivia waits outside your door, leaning casually against a shelf. So here's the first and most important thing. Beth gave you a crucial mission. I get that, and I know you'll get the job done. I saw you in action, but here's the rub. By sending you out on an errand, we're weakening our defenses here, and if they come at us while you're gone, I don't know if I'll be able to fight them off. Do you want me to stay here and guard the tower? What? No. Your task is far too important. You can't just hole up here cozy-like waiting for the demons to knock on the door. We need you to take the fight to them. But if those freaks try and make a move on this place, Beth will send a runner to get you. If that happens, you leg it back here, alright? Because I don't know... if you don't, you'll be coming back to an ash pile. Got it? When do you think the demons will attack next? Your guess is as good as mine. It might not be here. They could attack the whole damn city. Those vermin know they've got the upper hand, and we're going to push back hard. If things kick off here, you should know. After they attack, some things could have been changed beyond recognition. So if you got any business that needs taken care of, you better do it soon. Thanks for the warning. Wait, there's something else. That rift the damn beetle left with its scythe? Yeah, well, it cut the city in two. It's kind of difficult to get across. My scouts tell me that there's halfway decent place set up a crossing in Market Square. Not that any of them tried it to make sure, but if you got a mind to go across, I think you're going to have to eventually. You might want to give the square a once-over. Thanks for the warning. See you later. Later. Watch yourself out there. Camellia looks over you pensively, toying with a snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. It seems for a moment that the girl wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long, and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more than you already do? Why? Camilla arches a dainty eyebrow. I talk to spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight demons, and I swear you can rely on me in this matter. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to do 2 damage with a rapier? I had good teachers, although they don't get all the credit. I'm a most diligent student. Camellia licks her parched lips. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Camellia laughs and practiced musical laugh as she watches you from lowered lashes. You're most insightful, a fine quality to have. Camilla's laughter ends. Unspoken words hang in the silence. Forgive me if my questions disturb you. I could not resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I will stop bothering you immediately if talking to you upsets you. I wouldn't have pegged you as a philosopher. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where'd you get it? Ah, my little trinket? It's so nice of you to notice, but I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? Anyway, as much as I enjoyed our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camilla turns away, watching you out of the corner of her eye. What a weird person. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment and remember that Horgus Gorm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the service, and I dutifully paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, Horgus looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, arms folded across his chest, foot tapping impatiently. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay you generously for your services. What do you mean, a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter? Or do you think you're different somehow? A traveling knight, perhaps, of noble heart without a coin to your name? Horgus sizes you up critically and then sighs. You seem a reliable enough ally for me, and you did get me out of those Mongol caves. So why should I care what you do with my money once you get it? Felder perception. Horgus seems like one of those people that think the entire world owes them something. So what does the job entail? You shall be my bodyguard, you see. I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabras. I still have... Well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthier part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside one way or the other. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. Horgus Swarm. I have little hope that my guards are able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what happened in there since. Therefore, I ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they have no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors, that's what they are. Also, please do take Camilla with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all. What kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold coins, Horgus replies without hesitation. Double the reward and I'll think about it. Several tense moments pass in silence, and then his face relaxes. Deal. Deal. Marvelous. Most excellent. Horgus' face relaxes as soothing a few tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry unless you want me to lower your reward. The fuck is Kaido? I believe help is already on the way. The queen will not leave us to die. Vasily Rathamus, a stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard, mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped on his haggard face. What can I do for you? Show me the scrolls you're selling. I actually don't need your scrolls. I need to unload a shitload of gear on you. That was very useful. Lan greets you with a nod. Here for a chat? I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beasts you've taken into your party. I'd like to know more about you. Let me guess. Your first question is, can you wear a hat with your one horn? Am I right? So can you wear a hat with your one horn? I sure can, but certain designs don't suit me too well. He speaks in a deadly serious voice. You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground, Lan says, but your observation is correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while. Had a chance to learn a couple things. The language, the fact that every peasant who sees my skelly mug screams, "Demon!" and runs away. I don't know if you're interested, but my mom isn't from the underground tribe. She was a smuggler, She was a smuggler, the kind that used the dungeons of Kennebrus to secretly move and store goods. One time, two gangs couldn't agree on how to spare a prime cut, got into a fight, and the winners threw the losers down a hole, dead and living alike. My dad went to check if any of the corpses had anything useful on them and found a girl from the surface, barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them. Or maybe the girl just liked men with scales and a cat nose. That might be it. One way or another, he got her back on her feet and later even his home caves. She left smuggling behind and they began an honest life together. That's the delightful story of how Old Lan came to this world. The next chapter, however, my family and I never stayed in one place for long. We lived sometimes on the surface, sometimes underground. We couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mom, and my dad's appearance raised too many questions in Mindev. They're at war with the demons after all, and in the end, my parents decided to stop making each other miserable and separated. My father and I returned to our tribe. I think the peasants screamed demon and had to deal with something to do with it. Or maybe my dad just couldn't stand life without rat tail soup. I wouldn't rule out the possibility. Did you come with me so you could see the surface again? No, that wasn't it. I just don't have much patience for certain types of creatures. Demons, I mean. If they want to destroy Kennebrus, I'll be on the side of the people they're attacking. I guess you're right. I shouldn't have been so evasive. Just some things are hard to talk about. My family, for example. My birth, hell take me, turned out to be a great misfortune for my parents. All because I'm relatively healthy. I'm the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling Mongol and anyone from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands and feet, no apparent defects, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so they risked having more children. They thought it would somehow all be alright. A growl edges into Lan's voice. I could have had 4 brothers. The first was born 2 years after me and died 3 years later. He didn't have a nose, nothing even remotely resembling one. He could only breathe through his mouth. Mom and Dad were afraid to take their eyes off of him for fear he'd choke and suffocate on something, but in the end it was his weak heart that killed him. There was another pregnancy and another birth. I pretended I was sleeping, but snuck out of my bedroom and listened under the door. All those hours, it was very strange, but I never heard newborn screaming. Mom moaning, yes. The priest praying. Then I dared to open the door and look inside a little. The priest stood, very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object that fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" The other said, "I think it's a head." Len stops. You don't have to go on if it hurts you. Hell no, I started to tell you and I'm going to make it to the end. You wanted to know why I followed you to the surface? Well, here's the reason. Lan pauses, exhales, and continues in a steadier voice. It turned out that this time Mom was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces. The other 2 didn't live long enough to draw their first breath. About 3 weeks later, my father took me to the caves. He didn't want to leave. I could see it in his face, but I think he and Mom decided it together. The curse my people have carried since the first crusade stood between them. Not to mention 4 dead babies, and old age is rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the cave, he lived only another 4 years. So if you're asking me why I decided to go with you to the surface and join the Crusaders, well, the answer is I've always wanted to. I was afraid to leave my tribe, but it always haunted me that I could die in a world where 4 crusades could do nothing to stop the beast from the abyss, and the number of victims kept growing. I want to change that, or at least to try. And if changing things is too much to ask, then at least get a little revenge. The ones who are left behind in the world wound owe me a great debt. The lives of 4 brothers, all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. It's so much that killing a couple of demons won't do it for me. I want to do something real, and I'm ready to pay any price. Call it a personal crusade if you like. Len gives you a slanted grin. I used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born, but now I think I was born for this, to settle the score. Would you like to find your mother? No. The word flies from Len's mouth faster than an arrow. Then, after a pause, he continues. I don't want to meet her, not because I feel any resentment. It's just that she's half elf. She's barely got her first gray hair, and I'll be a ramshackle old man. She's buried enough children. There's no need to make her witness the death of another one. I hope you understand. I'm truly very sorry. Lan smiles, this time sadly. Well then, I'm very lucky. I met someone who helped me not only choose the right path, but is willing to listen to my whining. Thanks for sharing, Lan. Thanks for listening. The mongrels have short lifespans, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you? Lan chuckles. I'm as old as I look, no surprises there, but remember Sol? He's 10 years older than me. I remember him back when he was a fearless warrior. Day by day, I watched him turn into an old man, him and my father. It happens very quickly. First, you miss a shot because you don't see the target as clearly as you used to. You think it's because your eyes are tired. You tell yourself that it'll get better tomorrow, and then you notice you're having trouble breathing. Climbing is harder than before. Lang clenches and unclenches his human fist. Your fingers stop bending. You have to tie your sword to your hand. You can't even put on greaves without help. Then you're washing your face in the stream, and sometimes you catch sight of gray-haired, wrinkled old men that you don't recognize. And this goes on until one day you come across a cave beast and realize you can't outrun it. Elaine takes a breath. My dad kept diaries, marking all the signs. I saw it too. The last year I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. I told him that we should have stayed on the surface. He joked that dodging a goddess was a behavior unworthy of a crusader. He meant charisma. Every morning I woke up to check how I feel. There are no signs yet. Even so, I know I don't have much time. I need to do something before I forget why I came here. I want to talk about Window. Are you sure? Lance sighs. Alright. Tell me about your connection to Window. My connection to Window? I mean, where do I start? Lan turns the unexpressive reptile half of his face to you. We grew up together, trained together. She was the chief's daughter. She was groomed to be the best all her life, and then I came along. We were rivals, but we dragged each other out of tight spots too. I've always been drawn to grand heroic gestures and sometimes idiotic ones, whereas Windu liked to roam in the unexplored passages, finding new caves and marking the map. She wanted to be a great huntress, one who'd make it through the shield maze, but instead she... Lance shakes his head. It'd be better if she died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. She doesn't think she's a shadow of her former self. Of course, she thinks she did everything right, because the second she starts to doubt herself, she'll have to face the truth, to admit that she's just a cannibal that demons use as they wish. Lan's frown looks almost like a wince. She wants to get stronger and stronger, but for what? I'll never understand what drives her. You were just friends, or were you more than that? Wow, you really don't pull any punches, do you? Lan exhales loudly. There was a time when I asked myself the same question. Window knew me better than everyone. She understood me better than everyone. She was the first girl I ever, But we never loved each other. Maybe I could have grown to love her, but it always seemed like she never understood what love was. Maybe she wasn't capable of those kinds of feelings. Thanks. Found out everything I wanted to know. If you ever want to reopen any more of my old wounds, you know where to find me. I found out everything I wanted to know. Thank you. Sure thing. I think we gotta take a break from Lan for now.
Follow my lead.
let's go kill some demons. Oh shit, I leveled up. Fuck.